Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Wace and today I'm going to be talking to you about my 2022 WRX. Now, the thing that I want to talk about today specifically, something I get asked all the time is, how is the car performing after all the crap that it's been through? And in this particular case, I'm currently at 70,590 some thousand miles. And it's been through a lot. Autocross, track days, drag racing, street racing, just absolute buffoonery with this. And so I'm going to go through a couple of portions of the car, the mechanical section, the power that I'm making, some of the maintenance I've done, and some issues that I've had to kind of give you guys an idea of what it would be like to own one of these and do the things that I do and see how far it can take you. Now, in terms of mods, it's actually pretty minimal. Most of you guys are pretty much the same full bolt-on that I am, so there's not a whole lot special going on under the hood. Obviously, I have a lot of parent stuff. I've got the parent intake, parent front mount intercooler, a larger one, the turbo inlet also from parent AOS. I've got the parent oil cooler. I have a custom J-pipe that I got made here at Ecotech. We actually just took a NVIDIA J-pipe from a VA WRX, welded a 400 cell Jesse Sport cap to it, and that's how we made the J-pipe. The catback is an MA Performance catback, also from a VA WRX, which was modified to fit that. Everything so far has been working just fine. Oh, I also have the Cobb Flex Fuel kit in here as well, and a couple of parent cosmetics to boot. Now, basically, this is what one would consider full bolt-on in this particular universe. I'm making about 90, on 93, I'm making 340 wheel horsepower. This is using boosted performance tuning. That's Graham. You've seen them in a lot of our tuner talks. And on my ethanol tune, I'm actually running D-Man's ethanol tune, making somewhere around 390-ish wheel horsepower. Now, both of these tunes I have had for now almost close to 2.5 years. So I haven't really changed anything in terms of the tune, the mapping, or anything like that. And all the races that you guys have seen in the past 2.5 years have been on those exact two maps. Now, the only thing that has been changed was D-Man did add the launch control, which I have used in my rallycross videos a few times, but outside of that, there has been no other use of the launch control anywhere else. Now, cosmetics, as you can see, my car is pretty basic. I really want to do more cosmetic work, but I haven't really gotten around to it. I've got the Import Image Racing Big Bulge hood scoop, got the JD Muscle carbon fiber AMG style grille, which I know I get a lot of people not super interested in that, but I think it looks great. I've got the Cobb ST01 wheels, which I absolutely love. I used to have side skirts, but they fell off on the highway. Those are from eBay. JD Muscle mirror caps. I got these Thule roof racks. I've got spats from Import Image Racing, and also a diffuser back here from JD Muscle. And I've got just like the OEM style duckbill from Aeroflow Dynamics, which I am going to go ahead and replace because I want an actual wing inside of the duckbill. Also have the JD Muscle Duragon taillights. Out of all the taillights that are currently available on the market, I'll be honest, these are actually my favorite ones. I know we talk about taillights a lot and there's not a whole lot of options, but if you're looking for one, you can pick these up on JD Muscle's website using my code HEAVYMetalRex if you're interested. Now, maintenance-wise, I haven't done a whole lot because not much has really been needed. Obviously, I've been keeping up with the oil changes. I'm currently running Castrol Synthetic 5W40 and have been for the last 1.5 years. I did change out the front brakes. I used to use EBC yellows for track days. Now I've just been running EBC reds, and I've got OEMs in the back. I recently just did my 60,000 mile service, which was rear diff, transmission fluid, spark plugs, air filter, cabin filter, and brake fluid and oil change I didn't do because I had already done that prior. That's a video that's actually going to come out later. My friend Joe and I actually did do the spark plugs, which was very interesting. So we'll talk about that in a different video. But so far, that's the only real maintenance I've had to do. I haven't had any issues with the air conditioning. I haven't had any issues with the alternator. I know that's something that was happening to some people. Also the air compressor, also no issues with that. My infotainment system has not had any problems whatsoever. Everything about the car has been totally fine. Not a single problem whatsoever in that regard. Now, I do have some issues which are self-created. After we did the spark plugs, I did obviously have to take apart the boost tube that was going into the intake manifold from the intercooler. And now I think there's a boost leak somewhere, but I cannot figure it out, I cannot pinpoint it. Another thing that's happening is this weird rattling noise that's happening. I think it's actually in the dash. I did put a subwoofer in the car, which would not be surprising that something has come loose because of how loud that it is. And I can recreate the sound incredibly well. It's not coming from the transmission. I cannot hear it under the car. I cannot hear it in the engine bay. I can only hear it in the cabin between idle and 2,500 RPM, which is just very specific, so weird. I don't know. If I can't figure it out, I may have somebody from Ecotech kind of take a look at it. I don't know. That's really the only thing that is a bother to me right now, is those two things. The boost leak is very minuscule. Eventually, I'm sure I'll figure it out. But outside of that, I gotta say, as much as I have beaten on this car, the transmission has been completely fine, especially after the fluid change. We actually went with a Motul on that 7590, and it's been just buttery smooth. The diff has been fine. Engine, again, no issues. My car did not have oil leaking out of the spark plug valves, or the spark plug seals, which is fantastic. That's something that we confirmed. Other than that, a lot of the issues that people have had with their WRXs, especially the 23s and the 24s, non-existent. This was actually a 23 from October, sorry, it's a 22 from October 2022. And, you know, I don't know if that makes a difference. I'm not really sure, but a lot of the TSB stuff hasn't really affected me, except the clicking in the front axles, which is a TSB, which I am actually planning on going to the dealership and getting that changed and making a video on it. That's something that happens to everybody. It's happened to me since the day I got this car at 0 miles. So that's something I'm gonna take a look at to see if I can go ahead and get fixed. That's not something that I'm gonna do. We'll let Subaru do that, and hopefully they don't mess it up. Now here's something that's still happening. When I open the trunk, if I try to close it, it still doesn't close. Before it was actually taking 3 tries to close it. Now it only takes 2. It's fairly repeatable. It will not close unless I do it a second one. If I try to hit it a little bit harder, nothing. If I do it a little bit slow, let's see. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. That's actually been happening since I made my 40,000 mile review, which actually now it's been 30,000 more miles and it's still exactly the same. That's a repeatable problem because obviously I use the trunk quite a bit to put stuff in. Kind of annoying, but I've gotten used to it. Now this is going to be a complaint that a lot of people have heard me say before in shorts and in videos. I have driven this car across states multiple times. I think last year and the year before combined, I probably put 10,000 miles just driving from state to state. Obviously I drove to a bunch of Subi Fests. I drove down to Austin for Cobb. I've driven to a couple other shows and to my buddies' houses and stuff like that. And these seats in the premium, I don't care what you say, if you've driven as much as I have, you will agree they're incredibly uncomfortable. Especially over time, they have become even more uncomfortable, I guess because my ass has just been squishing them. I don't know how else to explain it. My legs fall asleep, there's no lumbar support. You know, I have to constantly shift because the seat just becomes less cushiony and becomes more flat. I don't know how else to explain it. When I sit in the Limited car or like I sit in like a GT, oh my God, it is night and day, the difference between the feel of the seats. And I wonder what it is like to take a long road trip using a limited set of seats or the Recaros. I feel like they would be far more comfortable. And I'm not a particularly large guy. I do have broad shoulders, so that is something that I do notice where like the side does force me to kind of like hunch my shoulders a little bit. That's not that big of an issue for me as much as it is sitting. Now, another thing I've noticed is I've got the steering wheel as far forward as I can have it, and I've got the seat in a position where I feel like it's fine. I kind of wish that the steering wheel came out just a little bit more because I've got a short torso and I've got long legs. And so I find that sometimes the distance between the pedals and my legs, the way that I would want it to be and versus where I'd like the steering wheel, because I like to be a little bit closer to the steering wheel, I've never fully been comfortable with that driving position. Where I have it right now, it's about as perfect as I can get it, and it's totally fine. And when I'm on the track, I actually do move the seat a little bit closer because I like having a little bit more, like I don't like racing like this. I like racing kind of like that. I don't know why, that's just me. But that's just something that's gonna depend on you. Everybody's gonna have a different experience. I am 6 feet. I have ample room to the top. I have ample room to the side. I have ample room in my hips. It is a very comfortable car in terms of like how much space there is. Even though I know that it isn't heavier than a 21 WRX, it is larger on the inside than a 21 WRX or a V8 WRX. So that's good for people who are bigger, who are taller, who are wider. But interior-wise, I have not had a single problem anywhere. My child destroys the back seat just destroys it. I have so many stains back there. That's another reason why I cannot take you back there. It is a shit show. Looking inside the car, you can see I am at 70,756 miles. My tire light is on because I still haven't connected the TPMS. This is a 3 printed mount that I put on, but it does not have the clip, so it actually just does this all the time. That's kind of annoying, but I'll figure out how to do that. Not much else in here cosmetic-wise. I actually do have the Rex Speed suede or Alcantara steering wheel, which I really like because it's nice and thick. This obviously is no longer white. That's kind of annoying because of all the oil stains I put on. And I do have the Perrin shift knob, but that's about it. I don't really have much else in the car. I do have like the LEDs, the LEDs that I got from eBay for like 18 bucks, but that's something I suggest to everybody. One of them actually is going out in the license plate. But overall, the car, okay, I did break this. This is actually broken when I was trying to install the flex fuel kit and taking the dash off. I did break that, so I eventually have to get that replaced. I'm not gonna show you the back of the car because it is filthy right now. I'm actually living inside the car. Don't ask, I'll talk about it later. But the infotainment system, I know a lot of people have had issues where it has gone out or just goes to a black screen or something happens. I'm telling you, not a single problem with mine. It works just fine. I've taken it apart multiple times to install the flex fuel kit. And actually I did install my subwoofer. Where's my little subwoofer? Oh, here's my subwoofer bass knob. I did actually install like all the wiring back there. So I've obviously taken it apart multiple times. Not an issue. I think there's a rattling that's behind the dash. And I'm gonna obviously take this apart again to kind of take a look at it. But overall, again, like I said, when it comes to the user experience, no problems whatsoever this entire time. So with that said, this is just such an incredibly reliable car. I haven't had any problems with it. All the problems I have had with it have been my own doing. Obviously, like I was driving in summer weather with snow tires, my snow tire popped. That was my mistake. I didn't have wheels to replace, so I was forced to finally get these wheels and these tires and put those on. That was my mistake. And everything else that has happened has been specifically because I have modded the car. And even with it being modded, the things that have happened have been so minuscule and easily resolvable. I know that the next step for me is going to be changing out the clutch eventually, but it still feels fine. The clutch pedal itself is incredibly heavy. I don't know why, and a lot of people have also felt it and haven't exactly given me a direct reason as to why it is like that, but it's been like that for, I want to say like the last 40 or yeah, about 40, 45,000 miles. So I just been living with it. So whenever we take the transmission out, which I do have a stock VB transmission waiting for me in case mine somehow blows up. I don't have an STI transmission yet. I don't really have any parts that I would want to do mechanically in the future on this car just yet. The transmission I have, I could probably get STI rotors or STI calipers, but I would be going the avenue of the TR knuckles. But other than that, if you're worried about modding your car, or let's say you don't even mod your car and you're worried about its longevity, man, let me tell you, I have beat the shit out of this car and it has been just fine. And it's the car that I use to commute every day. I take my daughter to school, I go get my groceries, you know, I go hang out at friends' houses, I go hang out with family. Like, I race at night, I live with it in the morning. It's been totally fine. So rest assured, if you're looking to pick up one of these, it is going to last you, especially compared to some of the older ones where I know sometimes there have been some issues here or there. And I do know that there have been a handful of issues with this particular model, mainly that I've noticed third gear going out for some people, but it hasn't really been a lot. People have had engine failures, but it has been kind of minuscule. People do tend to reach out to me. I think I have a spreadsheet somewhere where I've actually been compiling this information. I have like, I think 14 people who have had transmission issues, and about 8 or 9 people that have had engine issues. Now, of course, not everybody's gonna reach out to me, and not everybody's gonna tell their story when something bad happens. But from what I can tell, compared to the VA, especially the first year, it has been a stout and reliable vehicle so far. So again, your mileage obviously may vary, but for the most of us, people have been saying like it's pretty good. So I know my last few videos have been taken in a slightly negative way, but you guys got to understand, I love this car. I'm not trading it in for anything, but I still keep my eye on the car community because I think it's fun to talk about. So I hope this video was informative for you. If you're looking to pick up one of these, please go for it. It's a good buy. Well, Depends on how much you can get it for. If you can find a used one, you know, I still suggest finding a used TR is the 100% best value WRX you could buy right now. I've actually considered trading this in for a used TR myself, just because I would get something that's low mileage and I'd get the brakes and everything along with it. So anyway, hope you guys found this video informative, you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.